So hey guys, this time I'm gonna be talking about the second tactical just thing that Petrosian played, a game that Petrosian played. Oh my gosh, that was so messed up. Anyways, this game is gonna be Petrosian versus Paul Keres. So it's gonna be interesting. Anyways, there's gonna be a puzzle at the end, so be prepared. So that's all I have to say. So this starts out with e4, c5, knight to f3, knight to c6. This is the classical Sicilian. And d4 after pawn takes, knight takes. If he played h6 right here, he would go for the Najdorf variation. But instead he played g6, which is the dragon variation. Alright, so c4, this is the accelerated dragon variation. Bishop to g7, develop your piece and attacking this knight on d4. Bishop to e3, defending the knight. Knight to f6, attacking the pawn on e4. Here, just to make sure. And knight to c3, defending. Okay, so basically now knight to g4. This queen can take, which is what happened. But like I said, this knight is now only has one defender here. So now he moves queen to d1 because if he traded bishops, then black will be in a better position. So he has to kick the knight all the way back to e6. And now queen d2, repositioning the queen, preparing to put his bishop on e2 and castle. And just black's developing pieces while black castles. And now rook to c1, trying to keep control of this kind of open file here. This pawn's really advanced, so you want to move this knight away and just use this rook to keep defending the pawn. Bishop to c6, kind of trying to attack this pawn, I guess. And rook to d1, gaining hold of this another empty file. He could try and move queen to e1 or queen to c2, and then just have this rook on the same file that the queen is, and protected by another rook, and that's not really what you want. So knight to c5 and just attacking this pawn on e4. So f3 was played to defend it. a5, trying to start some kind of an attack on the queen side. b3, just stopping any ideas of a4. Queen to b6, just trying to develop pieces and connect the rooks. Knight to b5, just stopping the queen's eyeing down on the b3 pawn or something like that. So next move is rook to c8, and these next moves are just trying to reposition the pieces until they get to a certain point where the tactical stuff comes out. But I could just show you the moves, but if you really want to see the game in full length, just go search up Petrosian versus Paul Keres 1950 or something like that, and you'll surely find the game. So you see, these moves aren't very important. They just traded off a few pieces, made life easier for chess. And now, yeah. That was just to attack the pawn. Oops. Okay. So now this is a3, queen a8, trying to gain hold of this long diagonal that is in connection with the king. King to g1, moving out of it. h5, preparing some type of pawn breakthrough on the king side. And now rook to b1, whoops, it's the bottom line. Rook to b1, and h4, pushing the pawn even further. Rook b to b2, just like defending this pawn that's kind of being attacked repeatedly by these rooks. And now rook to g4. Just to move position is rook. Rook to f2. Defending this pawn? Yeah, I guess this is defending this pawn. And now, after rook to f2, it's queen to d8. Repositioning his queen again. And now b4. Now, in this position, it looks like Petrosian has all of his pieces well coordinated. But with that last move, b4, it's trying to kick the c5 knight somewhere. Should he play knight to a4? Is that good? Knight to d with some kind of sacrifice? Well, not really, it would be a sacrifice because this pawn is being protecting this knight. Would he readjust his queen to somewhere like here to pin this knight to the rook or something like that? Readjust this light square bishop where he has left on the d7 square for all eternity? Will he move his king out of the way? Will he do something with the rooks? Will he manage a pawn breakthrough or something like that? I'll give you 10 full seconds to find out the move that he played in the situation. It's a pretty tactical move. That's just a hint. Okay? Okay. So, the move that he played is rook to g3. Sacrificing an entire rook just for the sake of opening up the king side. So, yeah, of course, his queen's on attack. He doesn't want to readjust his queen because that would just be stupid. So he takes with the h pawn. Petrosian takes back with the g pawn, attacking this rook. Believe it or not, rook f3 is the best move here because of this tactical combination. After rook on f3, e takes on f3, and then queen takes on f3, and the position will be slightly equal, but black certainly has a better pawn here. However, Keres played the move that any reasonable person would play. He played rook to d2. However, this is a bad move because it's for the sole purpose of allowing this move. Queen to h4. So now, as you can see, he's threatening checkmate on here. And because this pawn's defending the square as well, the king can't escape, so it's checkmate. So he moves his bishop here because now if he threatens checkmate here, then white could just move his king to f1 and it will be safe. And after queen to h1, he could just play queen to g1. And if Petrosian allows the trading of queens, remember, black stood on a whole rook, so Keres looks like he has a pretty good advantage. Also, there's still that attack on the c5 knight. But, of course, another good move has to be played. Rook to h7, threatening yet another checkmate on h1. Okay, so king to f1 was among the most reasonable moves, because if he plays king to h2 now, h1 now, one could just play king to g1 and all will be well. But, queen takes on f4. And if white takes here, then this is checkmate. And there's no way to defend this. Okay. So, yeah, this concludes my tactical video on Petrosian versus Keres. So, tune in for next time for more chess videos, and goodbye.